Sleep Awareness Month is March, and we're going to learn about a condition that causes sleepiness. And there was something that have to do with acne, I mentioned earlier. And we have a wonderful doctor, Dr. John Browning. Hi, good morning, doctor. How are you?
Good morning. Thanks so much for having me.
Now, you're a pediatric dermatologist. And I before where we were talking, and I said I can't remember when I had acne, and I'm very thankful for that. Um, but I see my grandkids' bathrooms. There's this, there's that, and I know there's a concern. And what's the latest in this concern?
Yeah, well, who would have thought that your skin could affect your sleep? And so, I'm glad you brought that up earlier, that skin can affect your sleep. And, unfortunately, it can wake you up at night. And so these kids that have atopic dermatitis or eczema, they often wake up in the middle of the night, they're scratching, they may have blood on their sheets. And I don't have any grandkids, but I've got teenage kids, and they still have eczema. It started when they were babies, and they still have it now. And so as not only a pediatric dermatologist, but a parent of kids who have atopic dermatitis, I can tell you it's no fun seeing them wake up at night scratching and itching. And I'm excited to be able to talk to you today about that condition.
Well, let me ask you, I guess, being now, since I have the grandkids, uh, uh, is acne, what is acne? Is that the same word?
Yeah, no. So, acne, of course, that's going to affect teens, and I love talking about acne. But we're talking about is atopic dermatitis or eczema. So another A word, and that can affect kids starting at birth. Really, I see kids several weeks old itching and scratching, and it can get worse during childhood, or it can show up when you're a teen or an adult. So it can happen at any point in your life.
Okay, so to be clear, so I'm clear, so when I mention this, there is a real word and there's a real concern called acne, but that really, in most cases, affects teenagers and not younger.
That is correct. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
Tina. Yeah. I hope you'll have me back. I'd love to talk about acne because that's another passion of mine. But atopic dermatitis is really what we want to talk about today because that's what can wake people up at night. That's what causes those sleep disturbances. I think acne causes more of a problem, when you're thinking about your prom date and who you want to ask to the prom and what your friends are thinking about when they see you at school. But with atopic dermatitis or eczema, this is Sleep Awareness Month. And so this great information that I partnered recently with Dermavant Sciences to share with you a survey where we have awareness now about some of the different symptoms that patients have who have eczema. So maybe
All
we can
right.
talk a little bit more
Yeah,
about that.
please do. This is, by a teenager, you should be able to, take care of yourself. But a young child, this is a big responsibility for parents. And that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be there and help them during difficult times. And this has always become a difficult time. So, yeah, tell us what are some of the things that can be done? Thank you.
Yeah, well, I'll say as again, putting on my parent hat, taking off my dermatologist hat. I mean, I've had vacations that have been ruined because we've been in the mountains and we've had dry air that's caused the eczema to flare. We've been at the beach and that sunscreen has caused really bad itching. And so in this survey that Dermavant was able to do, and I've been able to partner with them and share this awareness, but what they found was looking at 502 adults and 510 parents or caregivers of kids with atopic dermatitis, they found that itch is the number one symptom that people experience with atopic dermatitis. 94% of patients mention that itch is that number one problem. And then the itch is what causes the sleep disturbance. And believe it or not, some of these people are waking up 1 to 4 nights a week because they can't sleep because of their itch. And I remember when my kids were little, sometimes they'd wake up and we'd find blood on their sheets. If you go in their room at night and they look like they're asleep, sometimes they're just fidgeting and moving around and scratching the whole time. So, unfortunately, this is a big problem, and it shows up at school with, difficulty paying attention, problems playing sports. Sometimes these kids have ADHD, and it may not even really be true ADHD. They may just have problems from not sleeping well.
Am I in the same ball game here with pimples? Is this eczema and pimples, are they related?
Well, it's funny you ask that because yeah, they are related. People who have acne and eczema both are often picking too much of their acne because it itches a lot. So I do see that. I do see that being a problem. And sometimes, kids who have atopic dermatitis are scratching at their face so much, they get all pocked up like they've got bad acne. So, they're not mutually exclusive, but who knew that sleep could be such a major problem for these people, that you'd be waking up at night because your skin is itching so bad. I can't think of, something worse than having to wake up all the time because of itchy skin.
And to tell a child don't is probably not a win. Can you make that happen? Or
Oh,
I don't
oh,
think.
forget that. I mean, yeah, you tell them not to pick at something, and guess what? They start picking more. You tell them not to scratch, and they're going to scratch more. So, really, what we need to do is just find better treatments to control that itch and help their skin get better.
Uh-huh. Okay. And so, do you have some breakthroughs here that you could share with us?
Yeah, well, so, from the survey, again, we know that itch is the number one complaint. We also know that adults have failed more than 8 different types of treatments for their atopic dermatitis. Kids, 6 different treatments on average. Many people have failed more treatments. So, yeah, I would encourage your viewers to visit dermavant.com /sleep itch survey, where they can learn more about these survey results, as well as different ways to treat their atopic dermatitis. And of course, as a dermatologist, I would also recommend that they talk to their dermatologist or other healthcare providers so that they can learn more about what their options are to control atopic dermatitis and that horrible itch that accompanies it.
Well, let me ask you. I'm straight out here, and I'm open to hear about medicines directly because I want to appreciate that the say Dermavant. I didn't research them and know whether they have a medicine that helps. So, and 2, they've shared a survey which is open, and 3, you're an open guy saying go talk to your dermatologist. You're not in essence saying only this, but the say Dermavant company, what do they have a medicine that can help with things like this, and what does it do? If you don't mind.
Yeah, well, Dermavant's doing a lot of research right now in the world of atopic dermatitis, specifically regarding what's called an aryl hydrocarbon agonist. And so that's a new way of being able to treat atopic dermatitis, different from using a topical steroid. So, traditionally, since the 1950s, we've used topical steroids. They often have to be applied twice a day, multiple parts of the body. And the problem with that is you can't use them for too long because you're going to get side effects, and you really can't use them on certain parts of the body. And then when you stop using them, you don't really get a lot of relief because guess what? You start itching again. So I'm excited Dermavant is doing research in this area, and I hope, that we'll see more good things come in the future.
All righty, great. How come you're a pediatric doctor? How come?
I love taking care of kids. I actually did a residency first in pediatrics and then did dermatology. So I've kind of combined those 2 passions into pediatric dermatology. And when I was a pediatrician, I realized that there really weren't people taking care of kids with skin problems. Huge need out there. So I'm happy to be part of the small community of pediatric dermatologists in our country.
Last question. Did you have acne, and did it affect you in your life some way? I
I've had both acne, and I will say I've had atopic dermatitis as well. And now that my kids are teens, unfortunately, they're suffering with both as well. So this is a subject near and dear to my heart, and I'm glad that we've had time to talk today. Thank you so
Is it
much for
hereditary?
having me.
Is it hereditary? Last question.
It does, yeah. It runs in families. So, we'll see parents with dry skin. Sometimes one or both have eczema, and then unfortunately the kids can get it. You might see asthmas too running in these families as well. So, good questions.
All righty. Hey, thanks so much for taking time and sharing with us. Thank you. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
Good job.